Breaking news, JW Thoughts family. A judge in Hawaii has absolutely delivered a massive blow to the Jehovah's Witness organization, and for very good reason. We won't spend too much time with a bunch of nonsense, so let's get right into it. Quickly, before we get started, don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps the good word and message of trying to take down Watchtower one brick at a time, get out to more people out here in the YouTube universe. And also, it's very much appreciated by me. With all of that being said, let's get right into the news story and play you a couple of clips to give you a few details about exactly what went on.
$40 million. That is how much a judge awarded to the victim in a childhood sex abuse lawsuit here in Hawaii. KITV4's Eric Nacton joins us now with the details. Eric.
Well, this week, the circuit court awarding a plaintiff known as ND $15 million in damages for harm she suffered from sexual abuse and $25 million in punitive damages. It's in connection with ND's claims that the defendant, Kenneth L. Apano, and sexually abused her in 1992 when she was 12. Apano was an elder in the Jehovah's Witness church at the time he sexually assaulted the plaintiff.
Now, if you guys remember, there was a case that was reported on a few weeks ago about what was going on in Pennsylvania, and that also involved an elder. That was a little bit different because the perpetrators were charged. A judgment has been reached. I'm not quite sure about the whole punitive process here and if they're going to have the opportunity to appeal it and how long that takes, all of that good stuff. But at the very least, we do have a judge, saying no and having a significant judgment against not only the perpetrator, but also Watchtower. So that's a very important distinction, because a lot of times people will say, well, there's bad eggs everywhere. But when it comes to the policies of Jehovah's Witnesses, they have poor policies that don't have any checks and balances, and they have this ridiculous two-witness rule that almost makes it easier for someone that wants to abuse children in the congregation than if they were to do it in any other organization. So that is why judgments against Watchtower or the Christian congregation or whatever entity that they're using are handed down against them, because it's not just a bad egg within their organization, it is a institutional level issue, because Watchtower has these archaic, brain-dead policies that make no sense in the real world. Now, I know I highlighted this in my previous video about what was going on in Pennsylvania, but anyone new to the channel, I will just re-emphasize this. Elders have a position of trust, and this person being an elder is going to get an automatic pass, and people are just... Wow, that truck was loud. It's hot in here. I'm sweating. The window's open. I guess we're going to have to just work through that. But elders have an automatic, almost like you go to a police officer. You just think, okay, this is a safe place. Even in the songs that they sing, the sacred hymns within the Jehovah's Witness organization, they have dedicated songs telling their members about how they can trust the elders, how the elders need to be obeyed, how they need to be respected, how they are in a position of authority because God has put them in that position. God is using them. So in a religious context, something that God does is going to be the most important thing that you can possibly imagine. Even ZZ is getting hyped up about this. But the important thing to remember here is that these people are abusing their position and the trust that their members have, because Watchtower tells them to trust these people. So that is why they are being handed down these judgments, not only to the perpetrator, but also to the organization itself.
The abuse reportedly took place during sleepovers at Apana's house. The lawsuit was filed in 2020 against defendants Apana and the Makaha Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses and other entities associated with the Jehovah's Witnesses Church. I spoke with the victim's lawyer tonight.
Now, this is an important detail against the Jehovah's Witness, the congregation, and other entities, because what Watchtower does is they set up all of these different entities, corporations, organizations, and they say, just like the old classic Garrett Loesch saying, well, he's not a member of the Watchtower. I don't have any authority. I've never been a member of that. So they try and hide behind all of these various companies. But what is nice to finally see happening is that governments are looking at this and saying this is a bunch of hogwash. No, you can't just hide behind, well, this is this company and this is this one and this, oh, we don't have, you can't charge this to this. They're all the exact same thing, and they all answer to Watchtower, and Watchtower answers to the governing body. And that is what is important. And going forward, that is what's going to be highlighted more and more and more. And that is what is going to really put the fire to the feet of the governing body, where they're going to have to be on one of their Wednesday meetings and say, do we want to keep up with these ridiculous policies, or should we just tell people we found new light?
Filed in 2020 against defendants Apana and the Makaha Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses and other entities associated with the Jehovah's Witnesses Church. I spoke with the victim's lawyer tonight.
I think that the decision to go ahead and pursue this, which was the first time that this individual has been held accountable for his activities, because he escaped all sorts of other sanctions, such as criminal investigations in the time. So she was felt resolute in her commitment to carry this out to its ultimate conclusion.
And the court reports Apana sexually molested minor girls for at least 23 years. I reached out to the Jehovah's Witnesses Church as well and have not heard back. Eric Naxon, KITV4, Island News.
This is absolutely heartbreaking that this abuse was going on for such a long time. Over 2 decades of abuse with someone that had allegations that people there, just from what Mark Davis had said there, people had tried to prosecute him previously and nothing was ever done. So finally, to get justice after all of this time is such a massive win for anyone that was affected by this absolute disgusting monster of a human being. So I couldn't be happier that this has happened, and that they're finally getting to the bottom of these cases, and that the survivors and victims are finally getting the compensation, which doesn't, I mean, that's one thing, but they're finally getting justice, and that is what's so important. And not only are they getting justice, but all of the people that are fighting Watchtower and all of the elders or people within their organization that they're protecting on these in these cases are, in my experience, have an understanding that it's an institutional issue. And so shout outs to the ones that have stuck with it. Shout outs to the people that have kept fighting and have finally exposing Watchtower for the vile, disgusting organization that it is. It is not a safe place for children. And people need to know that. People need to know that, hey, if you are a Jehovah's Witness and you have a child, that child is not safe because of the stupid, boneheaded practices that Watchtower just so stubbornly holds on to. And they get so pompous about it that they talk about it in this way where they say, we will never change these policies. Oh, we'll buckle up, buckos, because if you have that stance, if you say, we will never change these policies, we are coming after you. And it is all thanks to the brave survivors that want to take And it is so difficult because the easy thing is to just try and move on with your life and not worry about that. But to fight this billion-dollar international organization is such a gigantic mountain to climb. So shout outs to anyone that is doing that. And you are heroes in my eyes, and in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of millions of other people's eyes. You are a freaking hero, and you should be lifted on top of that mountain that you climbed, and take that selfie with pride. And you take something that is horrible and you turn it into something powerful that in the future will eventually protect other children. And that is some beautiful poetry in my personal opinion. With all of that being said, thank you so much. This is a little bit more podcast ranty Wally style, but it's like 11 o'clock at night here, so I'm just trying to do what I can to get this out and this information out. So thank you to all of the people that were working on this case, and to Watchtower. Honestly, this video is not monetized anyway, so fuck you. You guys are pieces of shit. Stay safe. Not you, Watchtower. You don't stay safe. I don't really care. But yeah, to all those people out there watching this, stay safe, be kind, don't forget to smile, and try and have a good ass day. Because the struggle is real out here.